Time to round up a big story from the week. The city of Houston has a stray animal problem, but limited resources to combat it. Latest figures estimate the city has more than 1 million cats and dogs roaming the streets. Last year, the Bureau of Animal Regulation and Care, or BARC, began what they call a Healthy Pets, Healthy Streets initiative aimed at reducing the stray population in one North Side neighborhood. So far, seems to be working so well, in fact, that the agency wants to expand it. Just last week, BARC learned it would be receiving more funding to help pay for 12 new officers to help step up patrols. But with so many animals roaming the streets, should the city spend even more to combat the problem? That's our topic this half hour. We want to hear from you on our Fox 26 Facebook page. You can also tweet us with the hashtag Fox26forlife. Joining us live in the newsroom is our legal analyst, Chris Tritico, our news analyst, Mustafa Tamiz, and public policy analyst, Jackie Bally. So what do you guys think? Do you think that money is the solution here?
Well, money's going to have to be the start of this solution. The population of stray dogs and cats is so overwhelming, they're going to have to throw money, and probably more money than they are at it. 12 new officers more than doubles the number of officers they already had on the street to cover one of the nation's largest counties with an estimated population of 1.2 million stray dogs and cats on the street. 14, 15 officers is not nearly enough to take care of the situation. And you've got additional problems, Mustafa Tamiz. When you pick these animals up, what are you going to do with them? Now, most of these animals end up getting euthanized, but there's a whole segment of the population that says we can't kill these animals.
Well, to understand the gravity of the problem, the city of Houston has a population of 2.2 million people. So for every human being, there's a stray animal out there. So it's an enormous issue for us. And it's really a community problem. It's not just a city problem. We as a community don't neuter our dogs and cats, and you create this huge stray population because there's an overpopulation, and we need to get better at it as a community.
And that's part of their initiative, is let's spay and neuter these
Right.
animals before they escape.
Right.
But really, that's not going to end the problem that we have right now with 1.2 million already on the streets breeding.
I think it's going to have to be a combination of both public education and more dollars thrown into this resource, because
I'm sorry, did you say throw more dollars at it, Jackie Bally?
I didn't say throw more dollars into it. I said throw more dollars into looking at it. Let's just be clear. No, 1.2 million, that's a large number. And one of the things that we do, I was introduced to this group called the Barrio Dogs by my friend Sonia Soto. And what her organization does is they actually go into the community, low-income communities. They educate their residents about spade and neutering. And I think that's very important, because a lot of these dogs, they're saying that this department is saying 50 to 100 dogs per hour. And it's in a lot of the poor, low-income areas like 3rd Ward, 5th
Right.
Ward, and a lot of the East End areas. And so organizations like hers will have to work with the city. So it's going to have to be a combination of budget dollars and community outreach.
And you can get that done for free. All over the place, you can get spay and neuter services for free or at a very, very low cost.
The city provides it, and the city program now is targeted. They're going to certain neighborhoods where they see an abundance of this population and doing this kind of an education. But it's really a cultural shift. We all have to think differently in order to solve this problem.
Doesn't it seem that this is kind of a surge issue, if you will? Let's throw a lot of money at it right now to get a handle on the problem, then we can reduce it back after we've done something.
Well, I think that's the hope, but the hard part is that you just look at the city budget. Even though they've increased the resources, there's just not a whole lot more resources coming this way, and the next budget is going to be tougher than this one.
They're saying 75% of their calls go unanswered.
Right.
So there's no way we can throw enough dollars to even
To
try
make
to
a
make
dent,
that. Right.
make a dent on it. We're going to
Right.
Sally, she's monitoring our social media.
Yeah, we want to show you a couple tweets that have come in on this topic. The first one is from Dr. Peter Hotez. He's a tropical disease specialist here in the Houston area, and he points to this one article that shows the hidden danger of stray dogs and cats, and that's this kind of infections that are affecting children. So that's an interesting article that he pointed to. And then the person behind this, Lily Pitbull, which is actually a therapy dog, she says she'd like to see more funding for spay and neuter programs, more education, and help those owners who don't have the resources to care for their pets. And what Mustafa said is probably spot on. I mean, it really is a cultural shift and change that people have to start making.
Well, it absolutely is, and the problem is we can fund additional spay and neuter places, but I think there's plenty of those already. But expanding that is fine. That's not going to do anything about the 1.2 million animals that are already on the street that are continually breeding. As Mustafa said, up to 50 animals a day. That population is expanding so rapidly that adding 12 officers is never gonna catch up with that.
Right, and that's why I really emphasize having the groups like Barrio Dogs, because not only will we have to go into, they're focusing on the Hispanics as well. So they're having people go into the Hispanic community, educate them, tell them this is what you need to do to take care of your dogs, because it may not help the population that's out there right now, but it will help prevent the number from growing.
Final thought.
If you care about animals, then get involved and get engaged in this. You know, put your money where your mouth is.
All right, we're going to have to leave it right there, Sally. We'll be back in just a few minutes with a really good story.
Okay, we're going to be talking about the firefighter contract coming up in about 30 minutes. Okay, see you then, guys.